Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. With the Rugby Championship concluded, I thought it's a good idea to do a team of the championship. Obviously, certain teams have been way better than the others, so I had to, adjust the team a bit to get at least one player from every team in. Let's make this an interactive video. So if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Even if you agree, you can just say it there. And if you want to put some effort into it, give you a full 15. But I mean, Rugby Championship done. All Blacks have retained the championship again. As always, just feels like it's just a normal thing for them to do these days. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. As always, starting off with the front row, and in the back, I'm starting off with the Springbok. To be honest, it was tough to decide which one between the two. I wasn't going to leave out any Springboks when it came to the front row. I still feel we were very, very dominant, very physical. We matched up well against the All Blacks at the scrum time. I just feel Steven Kitshoff was a bit better than I almost said Malcolm Marx, bit better than Francois Herbe. Was in the 3 jersey, so I decided to go for Steven Kitshoff in the 1 jersey, and in the number 3 jersey, partnering him in the scrum, I've gone with the All Black, Tyrell Lomax. I think the guy was absolutely brilliant. He was extraordinary, gave our boys a run for his money, dominated against Argentina. Of course, Ethan de Groot had an absolutely brilliant championship as well. Just my personal preference, I went for Tyrell Lomax in that number 3 jersey. And then in the number 2 jersey, I went for the only the only hooker to play all 3 games. And that was the captain of Argentina, Julian Montoya. And I think he was brilliant. He led from the front, even though they only got the victory over Australia. They deserved to win yesterday, as I said. And I think he really led from the front. He was busted up a couple of times yesterday and still on the field, playing his heart out. The guy's a proper leader. Julian Montoya goes into that number 2 jersey. Moving on to the locks. And I've switched a couple of positions, to be honest, throughout this lineup. But it's just, I had to get an Aussie in there. And I feel this man was one of the standouts when it came to the forwards. I put in the big man, the giant, Will Skelton. And I think he was one of the better players in the Aussie team, a struggling Aussie team. I feel he really brought an impact. He's the only Aussie lock to actually keep his place for all 3 games. So deserved place there. Obviously, if you wanted to choose the best 4, you could have picked between Brodie Retallick, even Eben Etzebeth, but Eben only played 2 games. And the one was a very, very slow game for him. I think he played brilliantly yesterday, one of our standout players. But I mean, I want to give it to Will Skelton, just for a bit of differential picks. But otherwise, Brodie Retallick, brilliant shout. But yeah, went to Will Skelton in that number 5 jersey, and the guy probably on current form, the best in the world when it comes to being in that flank position. I almost said he scored a try yesterday, but he assisted a try by absolutely smashing Tate McDermott. I've got Scott Barrett in that number 5 jersey. I just think every single game he was brilliant. He had a man of the match shout in the Argentina game, he had a man of the match shout in the Box game, and he had a man of the match shout in the Aussie game. The guy was brilliant throughout. There's no way I was leaving him out. Number 6, going into the Lucies, I've got Shannon Frizzell. This guy really, really proved something to me. I made a joke saying the guy only had 1 good game in his life and it was the first game of the championship. And then he just went on to have a brilliant game against us as well. The guy he's just a destroyer. I mean, that first, I think it was 15, 20 minutes against the Box, the guy was everywhere. Rucks, running the ball, defense, everything. The guy was literally perfect. So there's no way I'm leaving him out. Shannon Frizzell gets that number 6 jersey. Partnering him in that number 7 jersey, I could have easily gone Sam Cane. Of course, the guy was brilliant. Unfortunately, he got injured in the South African game, went off, didn't play in the Bledisloe Cup game. Obviously, in the number 6 jersey, I could have thrown in Pablo Matera because I think he was very good. He was brilliant yesterday, but I mean, Shannon Frizzell took that. But in the number 7 jersey, as I said, I could have picked Sam Cane, but I went for another Bok. Someone I think is getting his form back. He struggled a bit yesterday. He had some good parts in the game and then some bad parts. But I think overall, whether it was from the impact from the bench or starting, I went with Pieter Steph du Toit. The guy was immense. Finally seeing some of his sparks again, some of the magic he brings to us that he had in 2019. So yeah, I went with Pieter Steph du Toit in that number 7 jersey. Moving on, the last player of the forwards, I've got the best player in the world. And I mean, he just proved it. Even though it's like you want to give other guys credit, but you just know he's the best. And it's Ardie Savea. Like, there's no debate about it. You could have said Dwayne Vermeulen had good games. Dwayne Vermeulen played brilliantly against Australia. And then he came on to for the New Zealand game, was decent. He was decent yesterday as well. But I mean, Ardie Savea, he just does what he just showed his class yesterday. I literally said it in the video. Ardie Savea just does what Ardie Savea wants to do. I mean, if it is running over players, stealing the ball in the rucks, it's just a massive, massive disruption of everything. And I mean, there was a standout yesterday where I think it was in the second half, first 20 minutes, where Australia was just knocking on the door, 5 meters away, and then obviously he goes and gets that steal 5 meters away from his own goal line to win a penalty. The guy is immense, the best player in the world. Moving on to the number 9 jersey, and I mean, I'll just fly through this one because it's very easy. Aaron Smith. I mean, he scored a try against Argentina, darting through, and then scored a try against South Africa as well. Maybe yesterday you could have said he had a bit more quiet game, but he just did his job. Aaron Smith, still in my opinion, the best 9 in the world. And then moving on to partner him in the 10 jersey is the best fly-off in the world. Richie Mo'unga. I mean, this guy is absolutely insane. Like, there's doubts about him, and everyone was talking about D-Mac has to start at 10. And I love D-Mac. I think he's the perfect utility sub to bring on from the bench. But I mean, Richie Mo'unga was just class. He's so flary, he's so good. He reads the game, his kicking game, his running game, even defensively, and he's deceptively very, very quick. So I got Richie Mo'unga in that 10 jersey. Pretty easy pick. Moving on to the center combination. And I think every team's center combination actually struggled a bit, to be honest. I wouldn't say, maybe struggle is the wrong word, but I mean, there was no standout performances for me throughout. So I went in the 12 jersey. I went for another Wallaby that actually stood out to me, and I think yesterday was one of his better games. He really impressed me, and that's Samu Kurevi. He played in the first game against South Africa, but he came from the bench. Didn't have anything to do. Against Argentina, he started, played well yesterday, as I said. So I got Samu Kurevi in that number 12 jersey. I also think he's one of the best 12s to play the game currently. In that 13 jersey, I just didn't know who to pick because Lukania is so inconsistent at the moment. Jesse Kriel had a brilliant game yesterday, but that's just one game. I went with Rico Ioane because the guy is magic. Literally, like, he doesn't pass too much. Still think he's a wing. But I mean, and then he just goes on, beats a couple of defenders and scores like a 60-meter try from nothing. So Rico Ioane, definitely in my 13 jersey. And then rounding off, geez, my English. In the back three, and this was tight. In that 11 jersey, I could have gone Colby, I could have gone Arendse, could have thrown in Koroibete, but I mean, I had to give it to the standout man, the man who's had a breakthrough season as well, Mark De Lea. I mean, the guy is absolutely insane. Left, Koroibete for dead yesterday. Koroibete still searching for his ankles there. I mean, Mark De Lea is absolutely insane. And then on the other wing, literally I just said the wings I could have mentioned, but this guy is unstoppable. It's like inevitable. If he gets the ball or he's playing the game, he's going to score. And that is Will Jordan. Because, I mean, it's scary to think what he does. And he's still so young. Will Jordan definitely in that 14 jersey. And then to round off the team in that 15 jersey, could have gone Barrett. Probably should have gone Barrett. There was a lot of doubts around him, but I think he just showed his class throughout this championship. But I went with a South African man, the one that I feel showed a lot of heart and a lot of passion, especially in the game yesterday. And I went with Willie Leroux. I think, especially me as well, I was a big critic of Willie. But I mean, his performances throughout the championship just showed how important he is to us. I love how he links in that first receiver slot with Mani Lebok, how they interchange. I love how they play together. So I just went with Willie. Of course, there's doubts around his defense and stuff, but I mean, his attacking game is elite, how he reads the game. His kicking game is good and consistent. So yeah, that is my official 15 that I've picked, with some just throwing them in there to get some players in. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know what you think about it. What would you have changed? Obviously, there's a couple of obvious changes that some of you would have made, like a Sam Kane going into that 7 jersey, or Pablo Matera coming in, or Bowden Barrett going in at 15. Anyway, let me know what you think. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. My English has been horrible today. See you next time.